So, you decided to learn Japanese.
Oh, what a terrible mistake you made.
It's hard to pick a place to start learning the language, as it seems so complex and complicated. But as humans communicate through language verbally, it's natural that one must know how to emit the sounds in the first place in order to speak. Every kana represents a particular sound or combination of sounds, which people who have tortured themselves at university for years that we call linguists call phonemes. Luckily, Japanese phonology is not too complicated, and it doesn't exhibit many sounds. Without further ado, let's look at them from the most straightforward all the way to this abomination. The syllables are referred to as more, for reasons that nobody cares about. There's three ways in which more are formed: a vowel, a consonant, or a consonant plus a vowel. More are all the same length, except when gemination or doubling of a consonant occurs, and when vowels are devoiced. Let's have a look at the vowels first. We have 5 vowels: a, i, u, e, o. They may be doubled, which means that one vowel is considered as 2 more and it is pronounced for longer. Japanese does not allow for diphthongs when considering vowels, so something like ie is pronounced as ie, not ye. When u and e are between unvoiced consonants, they are devoiced, which means they are not pronounced, like the word ski. Even though it's written as suki, it's commonly pronounced ski with the devoicing of the u. There's more complicated shit to say, but this is enough. Now the consonants. The plosives are straightforward as ever. They are p, b, t, d, k, and g, though they are less aspirated than the English counterparts. Think of the word pay. And you see the P at the start is heavily aspirated. Pay, pay. Aspiration is really just a big release of air, so everybody can smell your stinky ass breath when you're speaking. Also, between vowels, b and g usually are weakened to fricatives in fast or casual speech. So, for example, instead of hage, one would say hae, or something like that. Some peculiarities occur when the dentals are combined with vowels. For instance, t and u form t, t plus e forms chi, d plus u forms z, and d plus e forms g. Whatever. We'll talk more about these cunts later. When s and z are paired with an e, they become shi and ji, respectively. Japanese has 2 semivowels, whatever the fuck, which are the W and the J. Well, at least that's how the IPA writes them. If you want the correspondent kana, it would be wa and o for the W, and for the J it would be ya, yo, and you. Now the phoneme N is quite the motherfucker. It can be pronounced in several ways. When paired with t, d, t, or n, it's a normal N. When paired with a k or g, it's velar. It undergoes velarization, which means you have to pronounce it like the ng in ring, sing, or twink. Ng, ng. When paired with a p, b, or m, it's an M. When paired with ch or j, it becomes Alveolo-Palatal, which is basically I can't even do it, man. When paired with disabortion, it becomes apical, which means you put the tip of the tongue against your palate and pronounce it. It's like you have to beat your palate with the tip of the tongue. It's like nah, some shit like that. When paired with semivowels, vowels, and these other cunts, its way of pronunciation is literally unknown. Like when not even linguists are sure of how to pronounce it, rest assured that it's some real shit we're dealing with. Although the usual accepted pronunciation is uvular and whatever that means. Now the Japanese H is never silent. It's always pronounced as a glottal fricative. Basically, you just emit air. Like when you take, for example, the word hair in English, you have this aspiration at the start. Well, basically that's the H phoneme in every more of Japanese. When paired with a E, you also have to move your tongue up near the palate so that you can hear some indescribable noise. It's like a hi. When paired with a U, it's pronounced as you would pronounce an F, but without using the teeth. It's called a bilabial fricative. It's U. It is now time to talk about these four cunts. Now, standard Japanese and some dialects neutralize the difference between these two phonemes and these two phonemes, so that they are pronounced zu and ji, even though these ones are supposed to be pronounced zu and ji. So now we have these phonemes that no one really uses, and these kana that no one really uses, except in two cases. If there is a pair of voiceless and voiced kana, for example in the word tsuzuku, or if rendaku occurs. Now, what is rendaku, you might ask? Well, often when there's a compound word, the second member's first kana, if it has a voiced equivalent, will be voiced. Now, what the fuck is this? Well, to answer you, linguists really like complicating things, especially IPA linguists. So, basically this shit represents a gemination, a doubling of a consonant. Japanese admits double consonants, and in writing they are expressed with a small tsu kana preceding the geminated consonant, called a sokuon. The gemination occurs with a glottal stop before the utterance of the consonant. A glottal stop being just, the closure of the throat. The IPA decided to render it with this Q letter, which is a sound that doesn't really exist. It's just a way to signal gemination. So, for example, in the word keka, you can hear that there's a glottal stop before the ka. Alright, let's see what's next.
Oh no!
Well, it's that time, I guess. Now, what the hell is this? Well, it's hard to determine exactly. So let's start by saying what it isn't. It is not a trill. Sorry, Spanish and Italian speakers, but we're gonna have to relearn your R. It's not a trill, so it's not a r. Looking at the IPA name for the accepted pronunciation may help here for once. Let's see. Voiced apical tap. So basically, you vibrate your vocal cords and tap the alveolar ridge with the tip of the tongue. So something like la, la. More like a weak D sound, like from what I can hear. As for some phenomena that occur normally, these consonants can be palatalized, which means that the body of your tongue moves towards the palate. Specifically, when there's a u, or o, both non-palatalized and palatalized consonants may occur in a word, but when there's an e, only the non-palatalized consonants can occur. And when there's an e, or the semivowel j, only the palatalized consonant. When n is before a palatalized consonant, it also becomes palatalized. Now, there's some sounds that are only observed in loan words, like she, but I'm not going to go in depth with them since you are going to study them when you study katakana anyways. So yeah, this is it.